my name's James Nicholson and welcome to my channel. It's good news, the Leasehold Reform Act has passed and it's become law. Now, I did not expect to be telling you that right now, that's for sure. This act has been kicking around for a couple of years. It was announced in the King's speech, one of the first things that he did, that this bill would be worked on. But it has had ups and downs. It nearly fell through multiple times. But what happened in the last few days was Rishi Sunak called a general election in July. That meant that Parliament is going to close. And so any outstanding laws either got left, and they're not going to probably happen, like the Renters Reform Bill, or they got rushed through and got changed very, very quickly, and everyone agreed and got passed. Now, the Leasehold Reform Act is one that got passed, and I just really am surprised, but this is good news. There's a lot to go through here, so do make sure you listen to this video, maybe listen to it twice, and share this video, guys. I'm sure you know someone that's got a leasehold property, maybe a leasehold house or a leasehold flat, and this will make a big impact on the value of their property. And if they need to extend their lease, this is going to have a huge impact on that. So, as always, I really want to ask you a favour on this one. If you can just take a moment to subscribe to the channel over there and hit the bell notification. We want to hit 24,000 subscribers as quickly as we can. You doing that really makes a difference. And while you're here, smash like. That really, really is important. More so on this video, because I want to get the message out about this video to as many people as possible. So, I've got notes here. I've got notes down here. There's lots to go through. So, what is going on? So, let's put it up here so we know what we're talking about. So, Leasehold Reform Act. Yeah, so out the blue, this has come and got passed, which was really quite good news for a lot of leaseholders, not so good for the freeholders, for sure. So this act is all about making it easier and cheaper to extend your lease. That's one of the things that they want to happen here. Now, some things didn't make it through because they couldn't get agreement, and so they had to get agreement in order to pass this into law. And so those things got missed out, and we'll go through those as well. So what has been included? Well, first off, this is a great one. The 990 years. I don't know why it's not 1,000 or 999, but it's 990 years. So when you extend your lease, you're going to be able to extend it to 990 years, meaning you'll never have to worry about this again in your lifetime. This brings it close to being as easy to deal with as a freehold. So that's very, very important as well. This next one is good, a good part of this act as well. So landlord charges. So landlords, managing agents, they have certain charges. For example, insurance, or maybe they've got different things that they do to the property. They're going to have to justify that now. So if you challenge them and you want to know, look, what am I paying for? That's a question that a lot of leaseholders ask. What am I actually paying for? The landlord or the management company have to be transparent on what are the charges now. Have they marked up those charges? A lot of management companies, for example, they might get a cleaning company in to clean the corridors in a leasehold flat. Now, they might also put a margin on top of that. Now, they have to let you know if they do that. And if you challenge that, maybe you can get that reduced. That's very important. So the challenging of service charges and that sort of stuff is very, very good. Now, next, no leasehold houses. Leasehold houses. So, if you have a leasehold house already, this doesn't mean that that's going to be abolished. It means that new projects, they will not allowed to be leasehold houses anymore. Now, this was around 10% of new build houses at one stage. Since this has been talked about, a lot of them have just stopped doing it anyway. And so what we're seeing now is around 1% of new build properties have it now. But going forward, it will be 0, which is good. That is a very, very positive thing there. So for leaseholds on houses is abolished going forward. Next is insurance. So what happens is a management company will insure the block of properties or the estate, and they will get a heavy commission on top of that insurance. So the insurance company might pay them as much as 30%. Now, that doesn't incentivize the management company to get the best deal for you. In fact, it incentivizes them to spend more money, doesn't it? Because they're going to have to look at the, the more it costs, the more they make. And so going forward, they will not be allowed to make a commission off insurance, which is going to be very, very good. There'll be more transparency. That means they've got more incentive to get you a better deal. And so, one, the commission will be gone. So that will knock a big chunk off the insurance each year. And two, they'll be incentivized to get you the best deal. So that is going to be a key thing going forward as well. So insurance, that will make a very, very big difference. They will be able to charge you a fee for setting up the insurance, right? But there'll be some more transparency around that. Next, 2 years to extend. So no more 2 years. What does that mean? Well, currently, if you buy a leasehold property and you want to, let's just say it's got a short lease and you want to extend that lease, you have to wait 2 years in order to be able to do that. It's a strange rule, and I don't know why they had it. Surely the freeholder would want to extend it as quickly as possible and get money, but you have to live there for 2 years in order to extend. Now you don't. So now you can buy a property and you can extend straight away. That means that short lease properties where the lease is less than 80 years, developers and investors can buy them and extend the lease quite quickly, which means that they're probably not going to be as discounted as they could have been in the past. So what I mean is, if you have a short lease, because the developer, the investor doesn't have to wait 2 years now, you might actually get slightly more money for that short lease property, which is good. So that's good. Not so good for the investors on that side. Next is right to manage. So the right to manage is good. I've got a property, a block that we're looking at this at the moment. And so we've had a change of management company in the last year, and no one really knows what they've done, right? The old management company, you could see the cleaning, you got reports on stuff. The new management company, we haven't really had any of that. And that obviously concerns leaseholders like me. So we actually now can go back to the freeholder and say, we want to manage this together as leaseholders ourselves. That will save the management fees. You can only really do that on a block where you get along. There is problems that could arise from that. You could potentially have lots more arguments with other leaseholders and freeholders and all this kind of stuff. So sometimes a management company is good. In our case, it's not great. It's not working out. Never know. We might try it, manage it ourselves, and then move it back onto the old management company in the future if it doesn't work out together. But you have the right to manage if you can get the other leaseholders to agree to that. That's a possible scenario that could save you a ton of money. It means you could get your own builders in to do stuff. Because let's face it, someone like me, or maybe like you. So for example, one of the flats that I have, the corridors get painted, I think every 5 years. They charge us about £5,000 to do that. It's only 5 properties in the block, so it's like £1,000 per property. It's crazy high. Clearly, the management company's making a big cut on top of that. But I've had my mates that are decorators that said, yeah, that job's about a 1,500 quid job. So we could bring my person in now, if the other leaseholders agree with the right to manage, and save ourselves £3,500. We can get our own electricians in to do stuff, to do like the emergency lighting tests and all these kind of stuff without big premiums on. We don't have to use, management companies often use these big companies that are really expensive, that are coming in from London to Surrey to do stuff. So there's a cost involved in that. We can look at using our own contractors locally, friends that could do favours for us and get stuff cheaper. That's good. Next, this one's a big one. This is probably the biggest thing in there, and that is no marriage value. This has taken me all weekend to find out about this. I've been on the phone to about 10 lease extension solicitors as well today, just to get clarity on this, because it's not clear on the government website, but marriage value is being abolished in this Leasehold Reform Act, which is crazy good if you're looking to extend. So if you dropped into the marriage value, then it's very expensive to extend, very expensive. And so it now will be significantly cheaper. We still don't have the exact costs, which is frustrating. But what we have seen and what I've been reading and speaking to solicitors about is it will be expected to cost around half to extend that lease, half the cost that it would have before. So that is very positive news, the marriage value stuff. And I'm happy with that. I've got a property that's in marriage value. That's going to make a big difference to me. Very, very good news there. So a few more things here. So we've got the transparency over the service charge. So that is very good. So obviously service charge is one of the biggest problems that leaseholders have, and you guys comment about all the time on this channel, how expensive it is and how you don't know what you're getting for your money. That now is going to change. You get transparency, you've got the right to manage. All of that stuff is very, very good. What else have we got? Let's have a look here. So it's easier and cheaper to take over the management of your block. You'll also be able to access the redress schemes for leaseholders, so you can challenge poor freeholder conduct. You can challenge poor maintenance conduct as well. So that is just going to make it easier when you've got big problems, which a lot of people have. And so that's going to be very, very important. They're going to have something, they haven't said what, but it's going to be easier and faster to sell or purchase a leasehold property. Currently, there is so much paperwork involved in that. I think they're probably going to centralise leases, so there's a better database of those. Yes, we've got the land registry with stuff, but there's so, you just downloaded a PDF that you can barely read. So I think that they'll get a system where you can get all the details and make that a lot quicker. What else is, this is a big one. So legal costs. So if you want to extend your lease at the moment, let's just say you want to extend your lease at the moment, then you have to pay for your solicitor and the freeholder's solicitor, which isn't great, right? And so now going forward, you've just got to pay for your solicitor as the leaseholder. The freeholder will have to pay for their own legal representation, which is very, very good. What else is there? Now, this is a big one. Yeah, what do we need to know here? Ground rent. Ground rent. Sorry, it went out of my brain there. It's back in. So ground rent was something that we were expecting to get capped at £250. That would make a big difference, because I've been reading today, I read one story today, doing all the research for this video, where someone was paying 15 grand a year. 15 grand a year for ground rent. Others are paying 9,000 a year for ground rent. It was going to get capped at 250. It's not happened. That was the sticking point. They couldn't get that sorted because the insurance companies that own freeholds, the charities that own freeholds, they were arguing that the freeholds would be worthless if that went through. So the government are going to pass, they have passed this into law. It now goes up to the King for royal sanction. That could take a few months. So if you want to extend your lease right now, what should you do? Well, you should definitely pass on to the freeholder the new rules, that you're aware of those new rules. Every solicitor I spoke to today said you shouldn't extend your lease now until this passes fully. But what they also have said is that a lot of freeholders just accept that this is going to happen. They know that this is something coming along the lines. And so most of them today, like deals that were happening last week, have been negotiated again today with these new terms, and the freeholders are just accepting this is what it is going to be. And so rather than having to wait a few months, just crack on, get the deal done with 990 years, the cheaper costs involved, and you might as well get some money through, and that's a better scenario for them than having nothing. But this is the big thing. I wasn't expecting, I don't think anyone was expecting this to happen. If Rishi Sunak didn't call that general election, this wouldn't have happened this quickly. So this is positive news for leaseholders. The ground rent is definitely probably the biggest letdown of this, but the fact that marriage value is gone, the fact that you can extend to 990 years, the fact that you've got the transparency about service charges, and you can challenge the management companies, you can challenge the freeholder. All of this stuff is a big win for leaseholders. It could have been better, of course it could, but it's definitely a move in the right direction. And I think the fact that it went through so quickly was a surprise to everyone. Do make sure you smash the hell out of that like button, guys. This video needs to be seen by lots of people. I want to get some big views on this video. Share it with people that you know need to know about the new Leasehold Reform Act. That's a big one. Click that share button. You can share it on WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, email, whatever. Just go and share it with some friends and some family. Share it on your Facebook wall, whatever you want to do with it. Do subscribe to the channel if you didn't. I've also made a guide on all of this. I put a guide together. I'm going to link it in the description. So go and grab the guide before you go and do anything else. Click on the link, grab the guide, check it out. Then you've got all the details in front of you. Forward the guide, if you want, to your freeholder if you're negotiating an extension on your lease. Do check out all the other content on my channel, including this video right here.